The state of Kansas releases its statewide housing needs assessment. I'm Chris Warner. We'll break down the details of that report.
Plus, how renovations at Freeman's Neosho Hospital will help with the treatment of infectious disease patients.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas has released its housing needs assessment for the state. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Chris Warner reviewed the report and joins us in the studio now with more.
Well, some of the key factors impacting housing in southeast Kansas are housing values, low wages, housing demand, and lack of modern rental opportunities. So we spoke with Pittsburgh City Manager Darren Hall about the issues his city faces. One of the items listed for the Southeast Kansas portion of the report was housing values. The report says the lower home values in the Southeast Kansas region could make it look very affordable, but the report says it's actually having the opposite effect. Low values make it challenging to build or rehabilitate a home due to the lack of comparables, meaning other homes with newer home values.
So if you build a new house, you get a loan to build that house based on the comps of the existing homes, and if the homes are 50 years old, and they're dilapidated a little bit, and there's just not a bunch of new ones, then it's hard to get a comp to get that building loan to build a new one.
Another factor was the struggle with Missouri. A number of workers in southeast Kansas, Pittsburgh particularly, are choosing somewhere else to call home, and Darren Hall says he knows why.
Yeah, the real issue is to have a place for them to live. So they can buy groceries here. Most people that commute don't buy groceries in Pittsburgh and then drive back to Missouri. They'll buy their groceries there. So it helps everybody if we have good housing stock here and plenty of it.
There's another factor in convincing commuters to make southeast Kansas their permanent home, places to go relax and enjoy after a hard day's work. Hall says they've been working on that through developing and enhancing city parks, but there's other parts to that equation.
You know, having a good place to eat, a quality place to eat, something that's a little different when your family does have a chance to get together. You don't have to, go to the grocery store and make it at home. You can just pop out somewhere. I think those are all a big part of having a huge impact on a family and letting them feel like Pittsburgh's a place for them.
One of the other key issues in the report was education resources. The report states the Southeast region has the resources to train and educate the next generation of workers, but needs to continue expanding building trades programs. There's a number of issues that are covered in the report that we couldn't squeeze in tonight, and the report is in two parts. There's a statewide profile and a regional assessment. And if you're interested in checking it out, we've put links to both of those in this story over at KOAMNewsNow.com.
Chris Warner in the studio tonight. Thanks, Chris. Checking in with Doug Heading now for a first look at the weather.
Well, we got some showers, even a few thunderstorms in here late last night and then into the morning hours. And then once those worked out of here, we got sunshine, and it actually turned out to be a pretty good day for us today. This system racing off toward the east and then back to the southwest. Here's our next wave, which will give us some rain chances by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures not bad. Most of us are sitting mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We are seeing the winds kind of switching around out of the northwest, and they're going to be out of the north for us tonight. So this will cool us down into the upper 30s later on tonight. Through the evening, we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, and then into the upper 30s by morning. More rain chances back in for us tomorrow. Also, some wintry weather possible. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Authorities in Elk County, Kansas cidentified the two people killed last Thursday outside a home in Longton. The KBI and Elk County Sheriff's Office says the victims are Robert Stricker and Dwayne Smith of Longton. Authorities say Stricker and Smith were shot, and the person they believe to be the shooter died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The investigation is ongoing. Freeman Health System today unveiled new renovations to its hospital in Neosho, Missouri. Officials say the hospital's emergency department has been updated from top to bottom to be able to treat more infectious disease patients. New additions to the department include several negative pressure isolation rooms, a negative pressure triage room, a new nurses station, and a new HVAC system.
Improve efficiency, to be able to turn this room more quickly, to be able to move patients through more quickly, but most importantly, to be able to place patients who need to be in an isolation room in an appropriate area to deliver care.
In total, the renovations cost $1.5 million. A Sarcoxie, Missouri woman says she was scammed out of $1,000 by someone pretending to be world-renowned chef Gordon Ramsay. Michelle Huffman says she joined a Gordon Ramsay fan page on Facebook and thought she had received a message from the man himself, only no, it wasn't him. The imposter was able to convince Michelle to send $1,000 in Google Play and iTunes gift cards under the guise of buying a house together. When the imposter wanted more, Michelle became suspicious. Stephanie Garland with the Better Business Bureau says to always be careful when communicating with supposed celebrities online.
When you're asking questions, if for a celebrity, a lot of the answers are out there. So one of the questions the Sarcoxie woman Googled was what his favorite color is. And when she asked him the favorite color, he answered correctly, because he had also used the search engine and was able to pull up the favorite color. So you just got to ask a lot of hard questions and see about an in-person meeting, and also be super leery of a celebrity just falling, unfortunately, for anybody else.
If you think you've been the victim of a scam, you can report it at bbb.org. Coming up, a Kansas family is calling for criminal charges after an autopsy labels a teen's death in police custody a homicide. Plus, Oklahoma's governor lays out his expectations for the state's budget next fiscal year. An autopsy released yesterday is labeling the death of a Wichita teen while in police custody in September as a homicide. 17-year-old Cedric Lofton died after being put in handcuffs and being placed face down in a prone position. Reporter Carolyn Elliott has more as Lofton's family calls for criminal charges.
Unfortunately, the family and the attorneys did not learn anything that we haven't all been saying since the beginning.
The official autopsy rules 17-year-old Cedric Lofton's death as a homicide after the teen died in custody late September. Now, the family's spokesperson is speaking for the first time since the autopsy and releasing one of the last photos taken of Cedric before his death.
You have preliminary coroner's report, which would seem to me was misrepresented in the press conference in stating that he just had a minor scratch or two and there were no life-threatening injuries. But we have photographs that show that's not true, and now the coroner's report confirms that that's not true, that there was lacerations and abrasions and bruising from head to toe.
In September, police were called to Lofton's foster home following the teen becoming erratic and aggressive. Lofton was taken into custody at the Sedgwick County Juvenile Intake and Assessment Center after assaulting several police officers. According to the report, hours after the teen arrived in custody, Lofton struggled with staff. Corrections staff restrained his arms and legs while the teen was face down, what's called a prone position. 4 minutes later, the staff couldn't find a pulse. The autopsy report also found Lofton had THC and esmolol, a beta blocker, in his body, but no other drugs or alcohol, and had COVID-19 at the time of his death. The county still has not released the video showing the moments leading up to the teen's death, and the family wants to know why.
I don't know. Does this count as conspiracy? Does this count as cover-up? I don't know. What does the law say when the people who are supposed to be investigating a wrongdoing are the people doing the wrongdoing?
In response to the autopsy report, Sedgwick County has placed the corrections staff involved with this case on paid leave.
They should have been suspended immediately without pay. They should not be getting paid right now even. Criminal charges should be filed.
The Sedgwick County District Attorney's Office is now reviewing the autopsy report and investigations by the KBI and Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office. The DA's office will determine if any charges need to be filed.
Investigators say they will have no further comment until the district attorney has made a decision on whether charges will indeed be filed. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt says he probably will not get a COVID-19 booster shot, even though health experts are encouraging everyone who is vaccinated to do so. Stitt says he's perfectly healthy and that his doctor hasn't told him he needs it. Last year, Stitt was the nation's first governor to confirm he contracted COVID-19. He got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in March. Governor Stitt and legislative leaders say despite record high revenue available to spend next year, they expect most agency budgets to remain flat. A state panel led by Stitt learned there will be more than $10 billion available to spend for the fiscal year that begins July 1st. But Stitt and Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Roger Thompson said after the meeting they want to keep at least $2 billion in reserves. The legislature last year appropriated about $8.3 billion in spending and set aside more than $700 million in savings. A little bit later, the Joplin Parks and Rec Department hosts a holiday-themed Lego camp for area kids.
Plus more rain right back in the forecast, and we could be looking at our first snow as well. We'll look at that coming up. Well, we got some showers, some thunderstorms in here late last night into the morning hours. And then once those rolled out, it actually turned out to be a pretty good day. But we got some decent rainfall amounts. Everybody got rain last night as these showers and thunderstorms, they kind of pushed in 3, 4 o'clock during the morning hours, really got going. And then the heaviest right about 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. And then boom, it's out of here. Now where you see the greens, we picked up a ½ an inch upwards to an inch. The lighter colors are showing us kind of a quarter upwards to ½ an inch, but we needed the rain, so a good little dose as it worked on through during the morning, and then the afternoon pretty good. Temperature is still sitting mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees for us right now. The winds are switching out of the north, so this is going to kind of usher in some cooler air for us tonight, but then they're going to whip right back out of the south by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. All right, outside right now it's sitting at 58. Westerly winds are at 5. Humidity is at 41%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, and I think most of us are going to bottom out right around 38 or so a little bit later on tonight. Clear skies for us now. The storm system we did have racing off toward the east. Right behind it, you can see our jet stream. It's strengthening. It's right at the point of really the year that it gets its strongest in the month of January. So we get these fast moving waves. They're going to whip out, and our next wave is going to roll in once again for us tomorrow. So clear skies over the next several hours. Clouds increase late tonight. Here's 6 a.m. Through the morning hours, we'll start to get some light showers developing. Here's 8:30 in the morning. Let's go through the morning hours. Here's about the noon hour. Most of this rain is going to be along Interstate 44 and south. Once you get into southeastern Kansas, you're not going to see much from this system. Rain works right on through. It's gone by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then temperatures, they look okay. We should make it up upper 50s to near 60. 54 by noon. We'll shoot for a high temp of 60. Tomorrow night, clouds kind of break up a little bit cooler. We drop back into the mid 30s, and then clouds increase again early Thursday morning. Could see a few random sprinkles. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but near 60 again on Thursday. So Thursday looks pretty good. Let's go into New Year's Eve. Friday, we're going to be fairly warm. We warm into lower 60s, but late in the day, very strong Arctic front drops in, our first Arctic front of the year. And we'll start to get some showers developing as we go through Friday evening, maybe even some thunderstorms, so we got to watch that. Here comes the Arctic front. So here's 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, plunges in. We'll have showers, thunderstorms. We're going to be right on that line that we could get freezing rain, sleet, or even go over to snow. And we have to watch this system over the next few days. If it shifts a little bit farther north, takes the snow with it, a little bit farther south, brings more snow in. But as of right now, I'm thinking we go rain over to some sleet and freezing rain and a little bit of snow. Of course, we'll fine tune that over the next few days. All right, 60 tomorrow, some showers, 59 on Thursday, 63 on Friday. We drop into the 20s on Saturday. If there's a snowpack, especially north of us with a northerly wind, we'll easily drop into the single digits Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a swing from record highs on Christmas to New Year's Day.
I wish that was a typo, that you were just missing a digit on the graphic. 9 degrees Saturday night. Wow.
Fun.
Thanks, Doug. Building Legos can be a great way for kids to think creatively and have fun, you know that. So the Joplin History and Mineral Museum is hosting a holiday-themed Lego camp. Campers spend a few hours a day playing Lego holiday games, competing in holiday-themed events, and making Lego-inspired snacks.
So this is our holiday Lego camp. It's our second year of doing the holiday version, and we filled it up. And so we have lots of kids out here enjoying lots of different activities with Legos that are like Christmas or like winter themed.
The camp continues tomorrow, but all the spots are booked. The Parks and Rec Department does plan to host more camps in the future, so keep watching. Coming up in sports, it's the opening day of the Neosho Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament, and we're going to hear from a former Joplin High School standout after another big year for Division I South Dakota State. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Doug Head.
Today is the opening day of the Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Neosho High School. Now, there are 2 boys brackets and 1 girls bracket this year. Now, kicking off the gold bracket on the boys' side today, defending tournament champion East Newton faces the Morrilton Devil Dogs in round 1. East Newton falls in that one 54-40. Gabe Bergen gets a double-double while Marshall Renner scores a team-high 14. In the black bracket, Lamar kicks off the tournament against Crooked Oak. And this one was a good one, but Lamar falls 59-57 in overtime. Mason Gastel scores 15 points with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Connor Schaff gets a team-high 19 points. The Pittsburg State women's basketball team will be back on the floor at home tomorrow afternoon. The Gorillas host Tabor College in their final non-conference game of the season. Now, coming out of the holiday break, Pitt State is 8-3 overall and 4-2 in the MIAA. Last time out, they fell at home to Central Missouri 70-61 in their final game before the break. Now, they only get 1 day of practice, which was today, before facing Tabor College tomorrow. So they're hoping they can get back in the groove against the Blue Jays before they get back to the MIAA grind this weekend at Missouri Western.
I love this game personally because it's nice to be able to come back and get into game mode before we have a tough conference matchup this Saturday.
I'm hopeful that we see, that we picked up right where we left off. We have, just rhythm in our game. The kids show the basketball like they did before we left, and that we didn't forget everything that we knew before we left. As far as we should be, hopefully we've practiced it enough that it's kind of just ingrained. That's what we do, and so you hope that you just pick up right where you left off.
Former Joplin High School running back Isaiah Davis just finished up his sophomore season at South Dakota State. Now, Davis did miss 8 games due to injury, but he still posted impressive numbers in 7 games for the Jackrabbits. And the former Eagle carried it 95 times for 709 yards this season. That's a team-high 7.4 yards per carry. He also found the end zone 7 times in 7 games. So now Davis has over 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns in 2 years at SDSU. He's taken a little time off to heal up, but he says he's ready to get back to work and show even more his junior year.
It's hard right now, trying to let my shoulder heal and obviously trying to take a break at the same time, but I'm just so eager to get out there and do it again. But I'm definitely looking forward to the steps we're about to take. Hopefully this next season I can step up and try to be a leader on the team. That's one of my goals, is to be a leader, so hopefully I get that.
Davis was the Gatorade Missouri Player of the Year as a senior at Joplin in 2019. He was a 2-time All-State selection, including a first-team All-State pick his senior season. Now that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
We take a moment to recognize a local veteran of the Vietnam War. Donald Riley Jr. served in the U.S. Army from 1967 to 69, including time in Vietnam. His hometown, Pittsburg, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Specialist Donald Riley Jr., a 4-state hero. Not too bad tomorrow or the next day, but a change is coming.
Yeah, especially by Friday into Saturday. Now, ahead of it, we still have some showers, which we're going to have to deal with late tomorrow morning into the early afternoon. Thursday looks good. Rain starts to sneak back in on New Year's Eve.
Final sports now.
We just had sad news out of the NFL a few minutes ago. The NFL has announced legendary broadcaster and coach John Madden has passed away at age 85.
Left quite a legacy for sure. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon Services